Welcome to the official Tottenham Hotspur review of the season. I'm Pete Abbott, here to take you through the highs and lows of the 2003-2004 campaign. A year when we've waved goodbye to some old favourites and welcomed in the new. It all started back in August at St Andrews, home of Birmingham City, where a debatable spot kick consigned us to defeat on the opening day. It looked like a 50-50 tussle between Anthony Gardner and Robbie Savage. The referee Rob Stiles pointed to the spot and David Dunn netted the penalty, despite Casey Keller's best efforts. Leeds United were the first visitors to White Hart Lane, and it was a chance for the home fans to see our new strike attack as Bobby Zamora and Helder Postiga made their home debuts. But it was another new signing who was to steal the headlines. Commentary comes from Martin Fisher.
Davis. Far to his right. Instead switches play to Ricketts. Now to Rico. Tries his look from distance, and it was an awkward one for Paul Robinson. Free kick won by Mark Viduka. Johnson's free kick. Smith has dropped deep, and that's why! Alan Smith for Leeds United. And Leeds are in front. Alan Smith wanted it there, got it there, found space and found the bottom corner. Zamora has fallen for Ricketts. And again, faced by Morris. Behind him is Kelly. It's not a bad ball in. And not far wide by Stephen Carr. Just drifting in at the back post. Excellent cross by Ricketts. Zamora. Tarico. Again, plenty of navy blue shirts are back there. Tarico goes himself. Good drive, what a goal! Tarico scores for Tottenham Hotspur. It's a thrilling run, terrific drive. It just opened up for the Argentine. And what a way to score, only your second ever goal in the Premiership. Rowan Ricketts. On towards Postiga. In behind Leeds United's defence. Cutting field away from Radaby. Here's a chance for Postiga. Seems to be getting closer. And it's a first look at Canute and White for the Tottenham faithful. Scored here last season for West Ham. Can he do the same on his home debut? Johnson. Smith. Felt that he was caught from behind by Gardner. Nothing given by referee Dunn. Instead it's Tottenham probing down their right with Carr. Early centre. The header by Postiga. Well, he keeps threatening, but as yet, Helder Postiga can't get the ball on target. It's fallen for Postiga. Clever feet by Postiga. Matteo did well to get back at him. He tells Kamara to get the ball. Carr with the free kick. Viduka's got a touch. Here's Canute for Tottenham! Freddie Canute scores on his White Hart Lane debut, and the £4.5 million spent to bring him across London from West Ham pays instant dividend. And what a finish. Off Viduka, first touch, the scissor kick, bottom corner. His 100th game in charge at Tottenham Hotspur, and it looks like finishing in a Tottenham win. Indeed it has. Freddie Canute, one of the summer recruits by Glenn Hoddle, has given White Hart Lane 3 points.
With 3 points on the board, we travelled north to the red half of Merseyside for a midweek match with Liverpool. Anfield has proved a difficult hunting ground in the past. We've only won there once in the Premiership, and the 44,000 crowd provided a fantastic atmosphere on a special night for Jamie Redknapp, who returned to his former club, this time as our captain. But could we come away with our first point since the goalless draw in February 1996? Marcus Buckland takes you through the action.
Here's Tarico. Always likes to break down the left. Ricketts has held his run, and he's been spotted. Good save by Dudek. Still the danger not cleared. Stephen Carr. And a first real opportunity for Spurs. Clever play by Ricketts. Bided his time. Dudek equal to the initial shot, and Carr just off target. Tarico again with space down this left flank. Zamora is there, so's Postiga! And Dudek gets there just in time. Held Postiga close to his first league goal in Tottenham colours. Good aerial presence from Bobby Zamora, and an acrobatic effort from Postiga. Stephen Carr will take the corner. And he can't complain about a lack of movement inside the box. Towards the far post, Richards is up there, so too is Anthony Gardner! And Harry Kewell, of all people, got back just in time. Gardner probably wasn't expecting the opportunity, but it came his way after Dean Richards' initial header had caused the confusion. Here comes Spurs again with Davis. It's a clever-looking ball. Bobby Zamora has space, but he needs support. Sensibly bides his time. Now here's Stephen Carr, specialises from long range. Has a go! Just over the bar. And that may well have taken a deflection off Sami Hyypiä. Well, Stephen Carr has scored some spectacular goals from distance, and it required an intervention from the Liverpool defender. We've seen very little of Michael Owen. That's better, and that's good defending as Harry Kewell came in. Gardner in the nick of time. It looked to be a goal for the number 7, but Gardner got there. Oh, the whistle's gone, that won't count. Michael Owen with the final touch. But the foul had been committed by Hyypiä, and the little smile on his face suggests that he knew he was in the wrong. Michael Owen is sharp as ever, but the push there on Richards. Owen. And Liverpool just upping the tempo a little bit. Not the most convincing of clearances. It's going to come back to Steven Gerrard, not once, not twice. A third opportunity, and Keller blocks him well. Still Gerrard over the bar. For just about the first time this evening, the Tottenham central defenders looked uneasy. And when Steven Gerrard is prowling, you cannot afford to be uneasy. Keller was alert, though. It's like a pinball for a minute. And that is the final whistle, and it's a slow start to Liverpool's campaign, but encouragement for Glenn Hoddle, and a point appreciated by a typically large and supportive Tottenham travelling contingent.
So hopes were high going into our next home game against Fulham, but our London rivals produced a classic away performance, thanks largely to the excellent Barry Hales, who showed strength, determination and accuracy to put the visitors ahead in the 23rd minute. Fulham have never won a league match at White Hart Lane, but Hale struck again in the 67th minute after getting the better of Dean Richards. And 4 minutes later, it was all over. Hale's in the action again as he set up Portuguese striker Luis Boa Morte for the knockout blow. There's no need to mention our record against Chelsea, but Freddie Canute gave us real hope with his second goal for the club in the 25th minute. But the lead didn't last long. 10 minutes later, Jesper Gronkjaer found Frank Lampard, who managed to squeeze the ball past Casey Keller at the near post. And soon after, Chelsea were ahead. Damien Duff, the provider of a perfect pass for Adrian Mutu, who just managed to beat Casey Keller one-on-one. In the second half, Mutu struck again, finishing off a fine pass from Joe Cole to make it 3-1. With 3 minutes to go, Dean Richards struck the inside of the post and Canute buried the rebound as we pulled the goal back. But the Blues had the final word when Celestine Babayaro crossed low for a Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank tap-in. With 4 points from a possible 15, the pressure was on back at the lane, but Glenn Hoddle's former club Southampton weren't about to make life easy, and James Beattie set them on their way after just 3 minutes. Just before the break, Beattie made the most of a harshly awarded free kick, drilling home from 25 yards with real venom. Casey Keller did well to even get a hand to it. And there was more misery in the second half when Graham Lassau's cross from the left set up Kevin Phillips. The departing fans would have missed the first evidence of a budding partnership between Robbie Keane and Freddie Canute. In his first game back from injury, Keane found himself in acres of space and threaded the ball through to Canute for a simple tap-in. But in the end, it proved little consolation to the fans or to Glenn Hoddle, whose 2-year reign as manager came to an end the next day. David Pleat was to take charge in a caretaker capacity role to the end of the season, and his first hurdle was a second-round Carling Cup tie against First Division Coventry City. It took 13 minutes to break the deadlock. Keane again the provider of a perfect pass to Canute, who never looked likely to miss. Ten minutes later, it was 2-0. This time, Canute found Keane, who twisted and turned his way past 2 defenders before tucking the ball past goalkeeper Scott Shearer. No traditional celebrations from Keane, who's making a habit of scoring against his former clubs. The third goal was worth the wait and came courtesy of second-half substitute Rowan Rickett, who was clearly delighted with his stunning long-range strike. It was the perfect end to a good night's work and set up a third-round clash against West Ham at White Hart Lane in October. Back in the Premiership, we faced an in-form Manchester City at their impressive City of Manchester Stadium. It was to be the first of 5 meetings with City in League and both Cups this season, and Ian Darke picks up the action.
Konchesky again to Canute! Couldn't get hold of the volley, gets another snap at it, and again, Manchester City escape. But they are looking rocky at the back at times. Well, Manchester City, as all their fans will know, can be infuriating. You never know what's going to happen next. Now Anelka could get on the end of that. It was a mistake by Gardner. Oh dear, oh dear. Well, the chances have fallen at both ends to the right strikers, the men in form. First Canute, then Anelka. Horrendous error by Gardner. Keller to the rescue. Trying to pick up Anelka. It's a decent looking ball. Anelka has got on the end of it as well. It's McManaman. First goal for City, is it? No, because of the fingertips of Casey Keller. Here's the resulting corner kick. And he didn't win it, and off the line somehow. Anelka's effort was blocked. And it was Carr that got it off the line from Anelka. Anderton fancies his luck. Hasn't scored in the Premiership for a couple of seasons. Can he do it here? He took a deflection, and this time Seaman reacted well and then palmed it away from the incoming Gus Poyet. That took a deflection on the way through. That was a good stop. McManaman, one chops in here, surely. No, he can't make it count. That is a glaring miss again. And Keller once again denies the Costa Rican. He just had to score here, didn't he? Sure, Manchester City feel they can build up a head of steam in this league as Tarnack gets this one in and over the bar. The goalkeeper came for that and didn't get it, and one shot couldn't keep his header down. Held back there, but one drops in here, and again he's denied by Keller. Those two are having a private match. Richards might have been in trouble there for tugging him back. He might have had a hat-trick by now. City will certainly regard this as 2 points dropped, and rightly so, and Tottenham will certainly regard it as 1.1. Fowler! Oh! He really got hold of that. That was a peach of a volley. Here's a little glimpse of the old Robbie Fowler. The instinctive effort.
Everton were the visitors at the start of October, and confidence had certainly improved after 2 games without defeat since David Pleat took temporary charge. Freddie Canute was first choice alongside Robbie Keane after scoring 5 in 7 games. While Duncan Ferguson was the danger man for an Everton side who had just missed out on Europe last season, their first under David Moyes. Commentary from White Hart Lane comes from Steve Banyard.
Chance for James McFadden here to attack. Driven hard by Unsworth, the header from Watson! He's Everton's top scorer this season with 5 in total. Canute for Ricketts. Youngsters having a really bright first half, and Konchesky here finding Keane. Keane through the legs of Yobo. Chance! Great save by Nigel Martin. Canute, Poyet, and Keane coming in. Canute's head. Poyet, Canute. Oh my goodness me! What a cracker! unshackled, unleashed, unstoppable. Sunshine's finally come out in North London. Here's Darren Anderton. And a glancing header for number 2, and it's Gus Platt. What a start to the second half for Tottenham. Tarico, Anderton, Canute, on here for Robbie Keane. He's got a chance, he's got a goal! It's Robbie Keane for Tottenham, it's 3-0. The trademark somersault from the Tottenham number 10. Spurs are simply oozing with confidence right now. Lovely turn by Kilban. No one in the middle. Sums up Everton's afternoon, really.
Tremendous team performance there. You've seen the work rate of all the lads from the front lads to the lads at the back. We worked our socks off. We knew that we had to do that today because Everton are a tough side, and we knew that they worked hard, and we needed to give that extra 10% today, and that's what we did do.
Leicester had been tipped to go down before the season had even started and found themselves at the foot of the table ahead of our first visit to the Walker Stadium. However, Les Ferdinand has a habit of scoring against us, as we found out when he was playing for West Ham last season, and he spearheaded the Leicester attack alongside the informed Paul Dickov, with another former Spurs star, Ian Walker, looking to shut us out in goal. Former Leicester keeper Casey Keller hadn't conceded a goal in nearly 5 hours of football since David Pleat took charge. Gary Doherty was the only change from the side that started against Everton, replacing Anthony Gardner, while Freddie Canute continued to enjoy his partnership with Robbie Keane up front. Could they add to the pressure mounting on Mickey Adams? Martin Fisher is your commentator.
Ferdinand, first touch. Not a bad second touch, bringing Alan Rodgers into the game. Cutting inside, away from Ricketts. Izzet has found space. Shimaka. Rodgers. It might fall for Izzet. Izzet for Leicester. Good save by Casey Keller, and it wouldn't bounce kindly for Leicester City. It's a well-worked move here. Good, intricate passing. That was a little bit fortunate, but Izzet saw the gap, went for it. And Doherty got an important clearance away after Keller. They got a very important fist away. Ferdinand's flick. Here's Dickov for Leicester, and Keller has let it through his legs. Oh, it's a horror return to Leicester for Casey Keller. And Paul Dickov has his 5th of the season. Was he offside from the flick on? Oh, it's a horrible error by Casey Keller. The early shot caught him out, perhaps. It's through his legs. And this is Dickov for Leicester, looking to count down the time. He's done better than that. He's picked out Ferdinand. Ferdinand away from Anderton. It's opened up for Les Ferdinand. Deflection. And Keller makes the save. Well, Les could have had a goal just before the break. Keane looking to pick out Konchesky. Gillespie was back there and Walker was struggling. Well, in the end he makes the save, but that would have been a bizarre own goal by Keith Gillespie. And the second bit of embarrassment for a goalkeeper that we've seen here this afternoon. Leicester here with Dickov. Trying to turn away from Doherty, and again it's the driven shot when Keller wasn't really expecting it. Gets himself in front of the defenders, loses Doherty, and when the shot is on target, requires the save. Picked out by Dickov. Shimaka to go for goal. Keller not really tested. Anderton. Carr on the charge. He's found Canute, who was immediately closed down by Taggart. Leicester have won it back. And Dickoff is in behind Doherty. Bent ahead of him. Dickoff's going to go himself, is he? Well, he let Doherty get back at him. And it's fallen for Bent now. And it's straight at Keller. And it's a wasted opportunity for Leicester City. Dickoff took a while to decide what to do with it. Anderton. Searching ball, looking for Keane. Off the back of Canute. Keane on for Zamora, the flag stays down. Bobby Zamora for Tottenham. Mabizella, goal! Tottenham's equaliser, and Mabizella has it. His first ever start in English football. It was a terrific strike by the South African, and Walker given absolutely no chance. It's a searing drive. Their first attempt at goal brings their goal. Is it? Scowcroft will climb for Leicester and get the flick on. Doherty does enough. Continues to keep out and repel Leicester. Gary Doherty. The two players beginning to slip now. Dalmat has got the ball away from several players. It's away from Sinclair. It's Stefan Dalmat. Oh, off the post. Canute. 2-1. Tottenham have won it at the death. Two shots on target all afternoon have brought 2 goals. Dalmat's surging run. Leicester exposed away from Sinclair. He was close to scoring. The rebound kind to Tottenham. Desperately unfortunate for Leicester. It falls to the man in form, Freddie Canute. And Mickey Adams has had a thoroughly miserable afternoon in the final analysis.
Middlesbrough thumped us twice last season, but Casey Keller was about to make amends for his clangor against Leicester. Luck appeared to be with David Pleat, now undefeated in 4 matches, and it was to be a frustrating afternoon for Steve McLaren and his side. Commentary this time comes from Ian Dark.
Here's Christie. Attack continues though, it's Zenden, and with room and with players to aim at. One of them's Boateng. That was a big chance for Middlesbrough. That was their best yet. Zenden. Nemeth. From a long way out, and it wasn't half a bad effort too, and it needed a strong hand from Casey Keller to keep that away. Mendieta. And Zenden! Oh, that's a great save from Casey Keller. Really good stuff. The 2 internationals combining well here. Well, I think Mendieta was looking for that all right, and he got it too. It's Mendieta looking for his first Borough goal, and it was on its way until Casey Keller came to the rescue again.
Well, after that heroic goalkeeping performance, Casey met up with Spurs fan Josie Holwell, who won a competition in the Junior Spurs members newsletter, to interview her hero.
If you could change or improve one of your football skills, what would it be?
Well, when I first started playing, as a goalkeeper, we were allowed to pick the ball up. We didn't have the back pass rule, so I think if I had anything to do over, it would have been nice to have been probably a bit more competent with my feet, although I've worked very hard on it and feel comfortable now, but it wasn't always that way.
Who do you have as a goalkeeper in your dream team, past or present?
Past, I'd say probably would be one of the men that trained with us today, Pat Jennings. I was always a fan of Pat, and and it's nice to be able to work with him. So Pat would be in my dream team.
Did you always want to be a goalkeeper?
I don't know. I think when I was a kid, I was like everybody else. I played a lot of different positions, and took my time in goal and enjoyed what I was doing. It really probably wasn't from I was about 14 did I really truly start concentrating on saying, okay, now I'm gonna strictly be a goalkeeper.
Did your parents encourage you to be a footballer?
Well, they didn't discourage me. I think I as a child, I always wanted to be in professional sports. Being an American, you really play baseball, basketball, football, and then as you get a little bit older, you might start to stop playing other sports. And I played soccer, football as well, and so I had a lot of encouragement to be a sportsman. Not necessarily as a footballer, because at the time there was no professional league in America. So my dad was always questioning me, why are you choosing a sport that you don't have a league in? And then I said, well, I have to go to Europe. And from that point on, it was understood.
What has been the best moment of your career so far?
Oh, I've been fortunate. I've had a long career. I've had a lot of good moments. I've won a cup, lost another cup final, played in World Cups. But I think one of the pinnacles of my career was we beat Brazil 1-0 with the national team. And at one stage in the middle of the game, I had made a double save off of Romario. And I was on the ground and he was standing above me, and he basically just shook my hand in the middle of the game and just said, it was an honor being on the field with me that day. So when you're playing against the defending world champions and you have a game like that, it's a nice moment.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure. Anytime you want to interview me, give the club a call and we'll do it again.
We needed extra time to get the better of West Ham in the third round of the Carling Cup, but for Bobby Zamora, it was worth the wait. His first goal for the club set up a fourth-round clash with Manchester City in December. With 3 wins and a draw, it was a shame that October had to end, but it did with a bang against Bolton. JJ Okocha was the architect of a 1-0 defeat at White Hart Lane, his fierce strike rebounding for Kevin Nolan in the 73rd minute. Next came the trip to Highbury, where an excellent first-half display saw us go in 1-0 up at the break, thanks to Darren Anderton's opener after 5 minutes. Paul Konchesky played the ball to Robbie Keane, and an attempted clearance by Lauren rebounded across the face of goal, where Anderton cleverly flicked past Jens Lehmann. Arsenal looked to be heading for their first defeat of the season until a cruel slice of luck in the 68th minute. Thierry Henry was clearly offside when he latched onto Ray Parler's pass, and although Casey Keller saved his effort superbly, Robert Pires was there to knock in the rebound. And if you thought that was unlucky, there was more to come. With 8 minutes left, Freddie Ljungberg cut in from the left, and his 20-yarder looped off Stephen Carr over Keller and into the net. It could have been such a different story. It was a wet and miserable afternoon at White Hart Lane, where Robbie Keane went head-to-head with Aston Villa's Darius Vassell, who got the nod ahead of Juan Pablo Angel. Former gunner David O'Leary always welcomes a trip back to North London, but Villa started the day in the drop zone, and things weren't about to get any better. Watching this one was Martin Fisher.
Konchesky. And again, Anderson in support. Flicked on by Keane, it's Postiga, it's a great chance, but he took so long. Well, it was a good challenge in the end, coming in by J. Lloyd Samuel, but really Postiga by then should have put it away. Vassell turns to find Richards ahead of him. It's a nice touch, it's Allback, lines it up for Hitzelsberger. Oh, they teed him up, and Hitzelsberger on his favoured left boot scrapes the post. Anderton, Tarico, cutting in field, letting one go, and Sorensen needing to fly across and make the save. Well, Tarico scored a blistering goal back in August here against Leeds from that kind of range, and this one was curling, it was going to go into the bottom corner. Delaney for Hendry. Easily cleared by Richards. Delaney to knock it back in again. Instead, it's Whittingham looking for Allback. Allback's header. It's gone in. The flag stays down, and Marcus Allback has given Aston Villa a lead midway through the second half. It's his first goal of the season. It all went quiet. Tottenham appealed for offside, but the flag stayed down. And Marcus Allback picks his spot, and Aston Villa have the lead. Delaney across. Ricketts for Postiga. Now it's King. King lining up the shot. Oh, it's tempting. It's Tarico. Oh, the cross was beyond Keane. Keane's driven ball over, and it's wide inevitably by Helder Postiga. Well, they're trying to walk the ball in. Why on earth Tarico didn't just shoot himself? Goodness knows. Allback gives it away needlessly. It's Keane, and now it's Ricketts. Three away the centre in the middle, and it's in! Rowan Ricketts through a forest of legs in the 6-yard box has equalised for Spurs. Ricketts left Delaney on the floor. Was that a shot or a cross? It doesn't matter. It's found the bottom corner of Sorensen's net. And it's one apiece. And it's game on at long, long last. Keane trying to get hold of things. Robbie Keane for Spurs. Blocked by Barry. Villa at 6s and 7s at the moment. It's a real opportunity for Spurs. Keane completely unmarked. Robbie Keane for Tottenham Hotspur! 2-1 Spurs! Two goals in 3 minutes have turned this game upside down. Let's look how he demanded the ball here. Look, I'm free, give it me. Skin Johnson across Sorensen. It's 2-1 Spurs, and Villa are back in the bottom 3 of the Premier League. Vassell plays a 1-2 with himself. In the end, it's not a bad cross either. Carr has to deal with it and hasn't, and Keller making a terrific save. Oh, so close to an own goal. Keller sparing Carr's blushes. You knew what he was trying to do here, just hook it behind. It's off his chest, it's going in, and Keller with a fantastic save. And it's another miserable afternoon for David O'Leary.
Unfortunately, we weren't able to build on that win at Ewood Park, where we suffered another cruel deflection off Stephen Carr. Bratislav Gresko's speculative 77th minute effort was going wide, but with the wicked deflection it curled in the air and managed to spin inside the far post. The first half performance against Manchester City in the 4th round of the Carling Cup was arguably our best of the season. It started with trickery from Rowan Ricketts on the left, and Sylvain Distan's poor clearance fell to Darren Anderton, who struck a sweet low shot into the corner from 22 yards. In the 30th minute came the moment we'd all been waiting for. Ricketts was again instrumental down the left, and a defensive error from Trevor Sinclair set up Helder Postiga, who curled the loose ball into the corner. It was his first goal for the club, and his relief was there for all to see.
Second goal for Spurs, scored after 29 minutes from number 8, Helder Postiga.
10 minutes from time, Kevin Keegan's side were thrown a lifeline when a defensive mix-up between Gary Doherty and Casey Keller allowed Robbie Fowler to nod home. The last 10 minutes and 4 minutes of injury time was nail-biting cup football at its best, until we eventually broke on the counter-attack. Paul Konchesky darted down the left and squared the ball to Robbie Keane. He couldn't make it, but substitute Freddie Canuti tapped in from close range. It was his first goal since the injury he picked up at Leicester, and he made it the perfect end to a perfect night.
End of the 90 minutes from number 9, Freddie Canuti.
3 days later, Robbie Keane and Dean Richards faced their former club Wolves at White Hart Lane. Marcus Buckland takes you through a 7-goal thriller.
Stephen Carr to Anderton. Neat little flick for Ledley King. And now Robbie Keane with an opportunity. 1-0. Super build-up play. Carr, Anderton, King, and the finish from Robbie Keane. A level almost immediately. Well, they say you can be off balance when you've just scored, and that was the case, and Paul Ince took advantage. Darren Anderton, that looks dangerous. It was dangerous, and Spurs are back in front. Freddie Canuti. Beautiful in-swinging cross from Darren Anderton, and Canuti got there first. Anderton. Canuti powering forward, good effort. Not sure if Michael Oates was expecting that, but he had to be on tiptoes. Sturridge. Kamara's made a good run and he's put it over the bar. He gets into so many good positions and so often he can't convert them. Konchesky now. That's promising. There's space and there's another goal. Konchesky this time with the cross and Robbie Keane with a brilliant finish. Konchesky has continued his run well. He's got Anderton in the middle. He's found Anderton. Good save. Robbie Keane. Hat-trick goal. Still no trademark celebration. Anderton really should have scored. Robbie Keane couldn't miss. Still Wolves push men forward. It's Sturridge. Alex Ray making a run. He's got there first and he scores. And Tottenham went to sleep at the back. Sturridge with the ball across and Alex Ray showed plenty of perseverance. End-to-end stuff. Here is Dalmat. Inside 2. Oh, what a finish! What a finish from Stefan Dalmat. Power, pace, and precision.
For goal of the season, his second half strike was arguably even better. By now, not surprisingly, we were shell-shocked. In the 59th minute, Robert provided the perfect corner for Alan Shearer to notch up his 100th goal at St James's Park. And 7 minutes later, it was goal number 101 for Shearer. But for once, even he couldn't steal the headlines. Our Carling Cup quarter-final against Middlesbrough got off to a dream start when Darren Anderton fired us into the lead after just 2 minutes. It was a lead that we held until the 86th minute when George Boateng's cross dropped nicely for Michael Ricketts, who made no mistake from 6 yards. The game remained in the balance throughout extra time, and the opening exchanges of the penalty shootout, Robbie Keane, Stephen Carr and Paul Konchesky had all scored, when at 3-3 Gus Poyet stepped up. Mark Schwarzer guessed right, and we were up against it. Next up, Casey Keller against Danny Mills. Freddie Canute made no mistake with his spot kick to bring us level at 4-4. But Gaisca Mendieta still had the chance to win it for Borough. A stunning save from Keller meant we were back in it. But the joy of keeping out what would have been the winning penalty soon turned to pain as Maurizio Tirico struck the post with the next kick. It meant Keller had to repeat his heroics to keep us in the competition. Unfortunately, there was no stopping Frank Coudreau, who sent Keller the wrong way and Borough through 5-4 on penalties. It was heartbreak at the lane. The last thing we needed after that was a visit from Manchester United, who went ahead through John O'Shea in the 15th minute. United took full control of the first half, and 10 minutes later Ruud van Nistelrooy made it 2-0 despite the best efforts of Anthony Gardner. A stirring second half performance wasn't enough to prevent United taking top spot for Christmas, but Gus Poyet did manage to squeeze the ball past Tim Howard to give us a late consolation. Three days before Christmas, Robbie Keane, Stephen Carr, Dean Richards and Rowan Ricketts visited the club's nominated local charity, the Haven House Foundation, to donate presents to children who are suffering from life-threatening and life-limiting illnesses.
Yeah. And who recognises this gentleman? I do. That's she's Irish, that's why. It's Robbie Keane.
all the lads got a bit of money together, and we gave the money to the club, and they looked after all the presents. So rather than just giving them sort of T-shirts and Tottenham T-shirts, they had actually proper presents, which was good, and full credit to the lads for doing it.
It touches me when I see kids maybe not as fortunate as us, and just the feeling they get when they receive a present or just to see us. It's just wonderful.
The players were joined by actress Patsy Palmer, who's a patron of the charity.
It's magical, isn't it? And they're all here, they're all looked after really well, so they get to have a really good party. And it's great of them to come along and do this, and anybody that takes out their time, it's Christmas and it's just fantastic.
It puts a lot of things into perspective when you come and see the kids at the situation they're in. But it's nice for Tottenham and the lads to come down here and give a little bit back to the community, and it's nice to see the kids, even though it's a little bit upsetting to have a look at them. But the kids have been lovely, and the people around here has been brilliant. And as I said, if we can put a smile on their face before Christmas, we feel good about ourselves.
Unfortunately, we came up second best against Portsmouth at Fratton Park on Boxing Day. A goal from this distance looked unlikely, but Patrick Berger had other ideas, and Pompey were ahead after 52 minutes. The second arrived 15 minutes later. Berger again, this time from 20 yards. The replay shows the slight deflection which left Casey Keller helpless. So all in all, not a very Merry Christmas, which was compounded by a home defeat to Charlton. Carlton Cole scored the only goal of the game in the 68th minute, a result which left us briefly in the bottom three. January saw us kick off our FA Cup campaign with a home tie against Crystal Palace, and Freddie Kanouté showed us what we'd been missing when he went off to play for Mali in the African Nations Cup later in the month. Kanouté's finishing was exemplary. His performance matched only by Stefan Dalmat, who twisted and turned his way through the Palace defence to set up Kanouté's second. And he didn't have to wait long for a well-deserved hat-trick, which gave us a huge confidence boost and booked a trip to Manchester City in the fourth round. Dalmat found Ledley King, who lifted the ball over Palace's defensive line, and Kanouté made no mistake from close range. So it was time for more of the same in the Premiership, where Birmingham City were the visitors in a midweek match we really needed to win after 4 successive league defeats. The home fans were heartened to see Simon Davis return to the starting lineup for the first time since August after recovering from a hip injury. Commentary from White Hart Lane comes from Marcus Buckland.
It's Dunn looking to make early inroads, and that's not a bad effort, and it required a good save. Well, David Dunn has yet to fully find his feet as a Birmingham player, but he nearly found the back of the net then. Anderton. Well, what can Dalmat do? Carr's making a run to his right. He goes alone and he finds the bottom corner. Brilliant strike from the Frenchman, and Spurs have the lead. Nothing that Mike Taylor could do about that. Anderton with the ball across. There was a clever run by Stephen Carr that diverted the attention of one defender, and Dalmat did the rest himself. Played away only as far as Dalmat. Here's Robbie Keane. Did well to hold the ball up. Still Keane. Back across, and Dalmat's there again. And he goes straight to Keane, as he should. Terrific perseverance from the Republic of Ireland international. And Dalmat, having scored a very spectacular opener, had the most simple of finishes second time around. And Spurs double their lead. Here's Anderton. And somehow it's found its way to Freddie Canute. Canute again. Dalmat. Keane is there! How's that stayed out? How has that stayed out? He doesn't know. And nor does anybody else. Dalmat turning provider this time, and Keane looks certain to make it 3-0. Sometimes it's not your day. Spurs again sweeping forward. This has been a terrific first half display. Jackson, Davis, 3-0! Welcome back, Simon Davis. It's his first start since August. And he's been missed. Dangerous ball in from Jackson, and a typically astute finish from Davis. They're cheering every pass now, and here is Anderton. Canute off the bar. He deserves a goal, and he won't come much closer tonight. And everything Spurs do at the moment has a touch of class and quality about it. Dunn has made 1 or 2 good runs. Here's another one. He's still going. He's still going. He's down, and the referee says that is a penalty. Well, it was Stefan Dalmat tracking back, and Barry Knight says that's enough for a penalty. Robbie Savage is never popular with Spurs fans, and he's even less so now. Birmingham have a lifeline. Keller went the right way. That was a perfect spot kick. It's neat. Neater still. Here's Canute. And here's Keane, number 4. And Spurs have wrapped up the points. And everybody at White Hart Lane will be head over heels about this display. Counter-attacking football at its brilliant best. Canute looked up, and Robbie Keane couldn't miss that. Well, it's been a good few days for Spurs. Progress in the Cup, and now 3 points and 4 goals against a usually watertight Birmingham defence.
The peace and tranquility of Pembrokeshire in Wales, a country steeped in history and tradition. The passion for the national game of rugby is unquestionable, but a quiet revolution has been taking place in the valleys since the qualifying campaign for this year's European Championships, which saw Mark Hughes' team come so close to booking a place in Portugal. A subtle shift in emphasis has been identifiable, and now there's a new passion for football.
You just see the crowds that we were putting in. You know, the tickets were getting sold out in 24 hours. You know, 70,000, 80,000 people going to every game. And, it was a great time. It was great games to play in. And I think, you know, with the group coming up with England and Northern Ireland, it's a very exciting group as well. So I'm sure the expectation will be there again, but, you know, none more than we'll be putting on ourselves.
This is where it all started for Simon Davis at Solva AFC, a small village team on the west coast of Wales. And it was under the guidance of Ronnie Bainan that Digger, as Davis is known to his friends, first practised his footballing skills. Bainan has been coaching the kids at Solva for 14 years, and he was quick to spot the youngster that stood out from his peers.
Back in 1990, when I took over as junior coach here, and taking the under-11s, I spotted this young 10-year-old that was doing things with the ball that, you know, just amazed me for a 10-year-old. He was so comfortable with it, the way he controlled it, the way he passed it, you know, ball juggling, you know, stuff like that. It was just things that you didn't expect a 10-year-old to do.
In his final season at Solva, Davis scored 42 goals, but despite an abundance of talent, natural progression was by no means inevitable. Much as he enjoyed home life, it was hardly a footballing hotbed. A slice of luck was needed to kickstart his career.
Being so far away and out of the way where I was down there, you know, I always wanted to be a footballer, but you're always thinking, is anyone going to see me down here? And, you know, but I mean, I was lucky I got picked up by a scout when I was 11 from Norwich, you know, and so I was on my way really from then.
All the kids want to know about Simon, you know. What was he like when he was 10 years old? What was he like when he was 12, you know? Did he ever play senior football at Solva? And, you know, and all, the kids are just, you know, just amazed by him, like, you know.
Spurs snapped him up from Peterborough for £700,000 4 years ago. And since his debut at Anfield, Davis has become a major player for both club and country. He's formed a formidable partnership with Stephen Carr, which was widely regarded as the best right-hand side in the Premiership for much of last season.
He's a very sensible player. He's very clever at stealing into space around the box. He's good with the ball and he's good without the ball. He has a good sense of team responsibility too.
But that influence was limited to a bit-part role this season. Davis managed just 20 games for the club after suffering his first serious injury, a loose bone on his hip that kept him out for 4 months.
Yeah, it was very difficult. I mean, there was some big games for Wales that messed with the playoffs, and obviously with Tottenham, you know, we weren't doing too well at the time, and it was just a difficult time, especially, I mean, because I didn't really have a goal really to aim for with my injury. It didn't say, right, you'll be back, you know, in a couple of weeks or, you know, 2 months. It was just waiting for the pain to get better, really, and it never did.
His return to the side in January coincided with an upturn in fortunes as the team went on a 5-game unbeaten run in the League and FA Cup.
We all realise how, you know, when you come to a club like this, I mean, the facilities, the ground, you know, the fan base, it is a big club and it's had a great history, you know, but I think, you know, people have been saying now for far too long we're a big club and we've got to do it. You know, we have got to do it now. You know, the club's got to, I think you know, the club's saying they're going to get a new manager in and, you know, they're going to give him funds, and I think they're really pushing for us to get back in that top 6. And us as players want to be there as well. So, you know, all in all, by the time next season comes around, I think we'll be, everything will be in place to give it that big push.
Let's hope for a fit Simon Davis, which will be a huge boost for the club next season. Former Spurs star Nick Barmby made only his 3rd start of the season for Leeds on the day we said a temporary goodbye to Freddie Kanouté ahead of his trip to the African Nations Cup. Kevin Keating was at Ellen Road.
Kanouté. It's turned away for the first corner of the match. Gary Doherty and Anthony Gardner forward for Anderton's corner. Doherty's header. Viduka held it up well for Barmby. Good first-time layoff for Alembe. Possibilities here for Leeds. Barmby right across the face of the Tottenham goal. My word, that would have been a story if Nick Barmby had turned that one in. His first start since last March. Smart turn by Kanouté, finding Keane. No obvious route to goal for Robbie Keane. Tries to set up Anderton. Oh, and Paul Robinson loses it, but then just had that idle second of time to gather at the second attempt. Just the spin on the ball made it uncomfortable for Robinson. Foul on Simon Davis. Useful ball forward, and Keane's got away from Dewberry and scores! Robbie Keane against his former club, and Leeds United's season goes from bad to worse in this crunch relegation battle at Elland Road. Kept his composure, kept his balance, and put Spurs one up. It's a corner. Michael Dewberry, who was at fault for the Tottenham goal, has sped forward from the back, hoping to profit from Pennant's corner. Chance for Bridges. Oh, well, he hopelessly mistimed that, Michael Bridges. Actually had time to bring it down. Opportunity wasted. May well be that, as far as Leeds United are concerned.
After a miserable December, we were putting together one of our best runs of the season. Victory against Liverpool would be our 4th straight win. Michael Brown made his debut after signing from Sheffield United on New Year's Day. He played alongside Darren Anderton, Stefan Dalmat and Simon Davis in midfield, while Helder Postiga replaced Freddie Canute alongside Robbie Keane up front. Emil Heskey retained his place in the Liverpool lineup, partnering Michael Owen, but a goalkeeping crisis meant Paul Jones had been drafted in on loan from Southampton. This was to be his second and final appearance for the Reds before securing a permanent move to Wolves. David Pleat knew we had a good record against Liverpool at White Hart Lane, but could we extend it? Martin Tyler commentates.
We're a bit concerned about the lack of height in the team with the loss of Canute and Richards. Gardner's pretty tall, of course. Gus Poyet, incidentally, is suspended from this game for a red card in the recent FA Cup clash with Crystal Palace. Tottenham through to the 4th round, where they will play Michael Brown's first club, Manchester City. It's Michael Owen! Well, he hit it so well. It was no surprise that it beat the goalkeeper, but it was a surprise that it beat the post. Doherty, oh, he's given it straight to Kuehl, who could put Owen in, but Doherty retrieved his error, which he certainly needed to do. Anderton, nice curve on the pass for Postiga. He's got time to shoot. And a very good stop of a swerving ball by Paul Jones. Owen. Strong work from Doherty. Tarico. Keane, and a challenge by Bischan, but a penalty given by referee Rennie against Igor Bischan, and it's Tottenham's first of the season. Paul Jones on loan from Southampton in the Liverpool goal. Up steps Robbie Keane and beats Jones. Keane scores for the 3rd game in a row, and having curbed the somersault up at Elland Road out of respect for a former club in difficult times, he gives it the full showboating here. Jones went the right way, but so did the ball for Spurs, on past the keeper into the back of the net. David Pleat keeping a check on the last few seconds before heading for his half-time chat with a team that I would think he'd be distinctly pleased with. But he won't be pleased if Owen gets away right on the half-time whistle. Fortunately for Tottenham, he wasn't able to take it on and go straight for goal, but he's now looking to tee up Harman. He's got a good shot in him from this sort of distance. Sheru tried to use the bend with his natural left foot, but started it too close to the goalkeeper. Murphy. Here's Brown heading on. Sheru. Owen. Heskey. Jackson. It's a great ball for Postiga. Yes! Relief and delight for the scorer and for his teammates. He's broken his Premiership duck. And more importantly for his team, after a sticky start to the second half, Tottenham lead Liverpool by 2 goals to 0. Murphy, Heskey, one that breaks it up. Anderton is there to help out. Jackson. Bishan has got a bother. Make it easy for the goalkeeper. Now Sheru. They've got to dig deep, Liverpool here. Owen gets closer. Not close enough, and then Sheru almost tackled the ball into the net. What an extraordinary goal that would have been. But it's not the little bit of luck that Liverpool need in these circumstances. Keane, cross. Actually, short of numbers, Tottenham in the middle, just short of numbers where the ball arrived. Heskey made that his against Tarico. Here's Kuehl. Now possibilities for Liverpool. Kuehl finds a shot that beats Keller down by his near post. 2-1. Heskey played a big part. He went for a ball that Tarico thought he was going to head away safely. And Kuehl took advantage of the space. The shot going through the legs of Jackson, which might have made it difficult for Keller. It's Kuehl. Sheru is behind Doherty. Heskey's there, and Owen appeals for handball against Gary Doherty, and Liverpool don't get what they asked for. And it clearly came up and struck the hands of Gary Doherty. Whether it was hand to ball, that's the referee's judgment, and that might be it for Liverpool here today.
I looked at the Liverpool team today in the height, and it was daunting. And we've lost Poyet suspended. Canute is a big guy. Ledley King fell out this morning. So it was, if you like, some man-mountains against some sharp players who are bright and working very hard at the moment. And, well, we've survived it, and we came out on top.
Manchester City and Spurs will forever be linked in FA Cup history. And 23 years after Ricky Villa's goal at Wembley, we faced them in the 4th round at the City of Manchester Stadium. Nicolas Anelka gave City the lead in the 11th minute after we failed to clear a corner. But David Pleat changed it around at the break, and in the 57th minute, Gary Doherty rose to meet Helder Postiga's perfectly placed corner and force a replay at White Hart Lane. Fulham had been widely tipped to go down at the start of the season, but they went into this match in 7th place. However, in the 18th minute, Ian Pearce was adjudged to have handled in the area, and referee Matt Messias immediately pointed to the spot. As usual, Robbie Keane's penalty was clinical, and we looked set to extend our unbeaten start to 2004. But as first half injury time ticked away, Luis Boa-Morte burst into the box and got clipped by Michael Brown right on the edge of the area. The referee awarded a second penalty. And Steed Melbrunk comfortably equalised from the spot. Midway through the second half, we failed to defend a Sean Davis corner, and Brian McBride tapped in his debut goal for Fulham after USA teammate Casey Keller had just managed to claw out a header from Pearce. New signing Jermaine Defoe was introduced to the home fans ahead of our FA Cup fourth-round replay with Manchester City, and he was about to witness one of the most incredible games in the history of the competition, though sadly not for us. We made the perfect start when Ledley King drilled home a fine left-footed shot past Arnie Arison after just 2 minutes. It was Ledley's first of the season and his fourth for the club. The lead was doubled on 18 minutes when Stephen Carr floated a wonderful ball over the defence and into the path of Robbie Keane. And just before half-time, Christian Ziege made it 3-0 with his trademark free kick. As the half-time whistle blew, Joey Barton, who'd just been booked, received a second yellow for dissent, and City were down to 10 men. Unfortunately for us, his team didn't seem to miss him. Just 3 minutes into the second half, Sylvain Distin gave City hope. On 55 minutes, Ziege had another free kick in an almost identical position, but this time Arison made a world-class double save. It was to be a pivotal moment in the tie. City knew their luck was changing, and that was certainly the case for their second goal in the 61st minute, where we suffered from yet another wicked deflection, this time when Paul Bosvelt struck Anthony Gardner's leg. The clock ticked down and fans watched on nervously as Robbie Fowler set up Sean Wright-Phillips for the equaliser with 10 minutes to go. And as the game entered its dying seconds, we were dealt a final crushing blow by John Macken. We had little time to wallow. 3 days later, Teddy Sheringham returned to White Hart Lane as captain of a Portsmouth side, desperate for points after starting the day in 17th place. Jermaine Defoe, who watched the Manchester City match from the director's box, made his debut alongside Robbie Keane up front. Simon Davis, Michael Brown, Ledley King and Stefan Dalmat started in midfield, with Stephen Carr, Dean Richards, Anthony Gardner and Johnny Jackson in defence. Portsmouth were without Patrick Berger, who scored twice in our defeat at Fratton Park on Boxing Day. David Pleat was looking for a quick response after our disappointment in the FA Cup, and Harry Redknapp's side were about to play their part in another thriller. Commentary comes from Bill Leslie.
This is Fay. Ledley King to Robbie Keane. Hope here for Defoe. Keane's continued his run. Jermaine Defoe for Spurs! Oh, what a dream debut! Jermaine Defoe, in the first quarter of an hour, has opened his account for Tottenham Hotspur. £7 million. Well, he's already started to pay it back. Berkovic now, Yakubu onside, Sheringham pulling away at the far stick. Berkovic in there as well. Ooh! It's pinball goal for Portsmouth. Spurs pegged back just before half-time. Cleared away by Carr, straight in off Berkovic. Great dummy by Defoe. Robbie Keane. Oh, what a way to go ahead again! Robbie Keane scores for the 5th consecutive game for Tottenham Hotspur, and there haven't been many better than that. Defoe did the dummy. It sat up nicely, but what a finish that was from Robbie Keane. Smertin now, Yakubu, good save, Casey Keller. Signs that Portsmouth are still very much in this one, and that Yakubu, back from African Nations Cup duty, is still very much in the mood. Here's Lualua, good skills from him. Oh, it's in! What a wonderful goal from Lualua! Gymnastic, acrobatic, but very, very important. There's that bit of luck going against Spurs again as it went in off the post. But for the second time this afternoon, Portsmouth have come from behind. Now Keane, Portsmouth scurry men back as Robbie Keane advances. Got plenty to do here, Robbie Keane. Oh, Keane! What a virtuoso goal from Robbie Keane! A touch of luck on the way through in this topsy-turvy game, and for the 3rd time, Tottenham Hotspur have the lead. Hislop has committed himself. Portsmouth are behind again. A substitution for Spurs. We're going to bring on Gustavo Poyet. And Jermaine Defoe is the man who will make way. Gardner with the clearance again. Fresh legs of Poyet. The older ones, most of them on the pitch. Here comes Yakubu though. Slightly stretched. Yakubu to Morna! They've done it again! For the 3rd time, they've come back from behind. 3-3. And it's a goal fest for the new signings. Here's Poyet. With him on the pitch, there's no doubt there is more of an aerial threat. So this 5th corner kick of the afternoon could well be an interesting prospect. Rising is Richards, and Spurs have won it surely through Gustavo Poyet. The second half super sub. It has ended 4-3, but this time for Spurs fans, it's gone the right way. It's his 3rd Premiership goal of the season. An instinctive tap-in. The referee takes a look at his watch. Still no whistle. But there it is. That's what the relief of 35,000 people sounds like. Spurs end a treacherous week when their season fell apart on a high.
Obviously watching the game the other night, another 4-3, but then we didn't get the luck that we perhaps deserved. But today we got the luck, and glad to get the 3 points.
Well, Marcus Buckland was there to see Jermaine in the thick of the action 4 days later at Charlton.
It's not the best header from Konchesky, and here's Simon Davis. 1-0 Spurs. Well, Paul Konchesky will not enjoy looking back at this. The initial header was a poor one, and the final deflection was off him as well. And Davis, who scored the winner here last season, has done it again. Defoe, and 2-0. Off his head, he says. Either way, it counts. And the man who started his career at Charlton has come back to haunt them again. Davis, who scored the first, set up the second. It actually began with Casey Keller. So much space for Simon Davis. Terrific run from the Welsh international. Unchallenged, it has to be said. And Jermaine Defoe, the second time of asking with the finish. Was it his head? Was it his hand? Either way it counts, it doesn't matter. Some positives to note down. Well, that's clever from Robbie Keane. And here's Ledley King, and it's 3-0. Again, it's 3-0 for Spurs. Ledley King gets in on the party. Question now, can they keep the lead? Well, keep your head, says David, please. Typical trickery from Robbie Keane. And a pretty stylish finish from Ledley King. Now the hard work begins. Jensen with the corner. Keller appeared to be blocked out there. It's going to come to Stewart! And Charlton are back in it. Graham Stewart with the goal. Keller looked to be blocked from the corner. He was down on the ground. Stewart didn't care. Final touch may have come off a Spurs defender, but Stewart takes the credit. You can feel the nerves jangling. Perry! It's 3-2! A former Tottenham defender is threatening to create another nightmare here for Spurs. Jensen with the cross, and Perry with a rare-headed goal. Several agonising minutes ahead for Spurs. Jackson might have a go. He does have a go! And Johnny Jackson must have sealed it now for Tottenham. Huge relief for the fans and players alike. If they let slip another big lead, who knows what might have happened. But Jackson held his nerve and finished quite brilliantly.
Well, no shortage of goals in February, but we were looking to tighten up at the back against the Leicester City side that fielded 4 former Spurs players. The White Hart Lane faithful welcomed back Stefan Freund, who joined the Foxes in the January transfer window after leaving us at the end of last season. Freddie Kanouté was back from the African Nations Cup and had to be content with a place on the bench as David Pleat elected to stick with Jermaine Defoe and Robbie Keane up front. The pair had scored 4 goals between them in the past 2 games. Ian Walker, Ben Thatcher, Freund and Les Ferdinand were the former Spurs stars out to make life difficult. Leicester were without a Premiership win in 11 matches and Mickey Adams desperately needed something from this. Ian Darke watched another thriller in a crazy month at the Lane.
Michael Brown to take the free kick for Spurs. Bent well, difficult, and Walker, another mistake. Spurs ahead, Michael Brown with his first goal in Tottenham's colours. And Ian Walker at the moment is just having a nightmare. Difficult because it bounced in front of him, but he should have done a lot better. What next, he must be thinking. Leicester have only won 4 times on their return to the Premiership. Oh! And there's an own goal! A horrendous mistake by Gary Doherty. Gifts an equaliser to Leicester City. 2 pretty crazy goals. And Leicester City are level in the most unexpected fashion. Ferdinand getting behind, this time Doherty patches up the damage. Still haunted by that own goal. Nallis, bad control by him, allows Tottenham possession. It's all a bit scrappy at the moment, but Defoe's in here! And that's 3 in 3 games for Spurs, who lead 2-1. It's his 50th career league goal. Davis played it through to his pace, got him clear of Davisas, and then it was all about placement. Aimed for the far corner, found it. Oh, that's a mistake by Thatcher. And Spurs could be in again here. Walker this time makes the save. Keane denied. Peter Shreves, former Tottenham manager. And Spurs, and is that a back pass from Taggart? It is. Good decision, I think, by Neil Berry. Watch that Wall charge. It's Johnny Jackson. Wall does its job. Once, but not twice. Tottenham with Robbie Keane make it 3-1. Can't stop scoring at the moment. Robbie Keane. That is 7 in 8 games for him. And it's his 50th Premiership goal. Plenty to ponder for Mickey Adams. Ferdinand, 179 league goals in his career, including his time at Beşiktaş in Turkey. Jackson getting in a bit of a mess here, and Ferdinand makes it 3-2. Leicester have got that goal. They have got that lifeline. It was a calamity for Johnny Jackson. Loses his way, loses his bearings, sets up Les Ferdinand, who will need no second invitation. And that's a harsh lesson for the youngster to learn. Great finish from Ferdinand. It's going to be Leicester's ball. They take it quickly. Here's Nallis. Ooh. Now then, things boiling over a bit here with that challenge. Scowcroft, red card. Leicester are down to 10 men. And that is going to equal a 3-game ban as well as a straight red. Carrico returns after the challenge. Steve Guppy. Tottenham are aware of the danger. Dean Richards was back there. Here's the corner kick. Nallis can't reach it, but there's an equaliser for Leicester City. And it's Ben Thatcher against his old club. Extraordinary developments here. 10-man Leicester City are level, and David Pleat can't believe it. And 14 minutes remaining here in the Barclaycard English Premier League. Tottenham 3, Leicester City 3. Doherty, oh, a mistake by Doherty, and it's 4-3 to Leicester City thanks to Marcus Bent, who's only just come on. These would be 3 absolutely priceless points for Leicester if they hold on to them. Now it's Canute. Away by Callum Davidson, not far enough to Ledley King. Now then Defoe has made it 4-4. Extraordinary. Tottenham out of jail. 4 in 3 games. It all came from a sloppy clearance that from Callum Davidson, who had a bit more time than that. Defoe controlled it well into space. Finish emphatic, that's what he's about. It's all over. A game that Spurs looked to have won easily, looked to have thrown away, but then rescued a point.
March got off to a disappointing start at the Riverside, despite the best efforts of Casey Keller, who made a terrific save to deny Massimo Macaroni from the penalty spot. But Middlesbrough have proved tough to beat over the past couple of seasons, and Zilard Nemeth sealed our fate in the 73rd minute. Much to Keller's understandable frustration. This season saw the introduction of the Tottenham Hotspur Hall of Fame to honour the players and managers that have achieved so much for the club over the years. Fittingly, our most successful ever manager, Bill Nicholson, was the first inductee, and he was joined by members of the 1961 double side at a gala dinner.
You get a few great managers in eras, you know, like every 10 years somebody else comes up, Bill Shankly and Matt Busby and Alf Ramsey. Bill Nick was as good as any of them. Whatever he said, then you believed it, and he never ever changed his mind and changed anything. Once he said something, then he meant it, and that's the way you've got to do it.
Peter Baker, Ron Henry, Dave Mackay, Maurice Norman, Bobby Smith, Les Allen, Terry Dyson and Cliff Jones all turned out to honour the great man.
Bill was such an honest, hard-working personality, sort of he knew more about the game than anybody, he worked hard at the game, and he gave us leadership, he sort of demanded the best from us. I was privileged to be a member of the side of what we call the glory years, and yeah, they were great times and great memories. And I wouldn't swap it for anything.
Glenn Hoddle and Ricky Villa were among many former players to celebrate with Keith Birkinshaw, who became the Hall of Fame's second inductee. He received the honour 2 decades after guiding the club to successive FA Cup victories in 1981 and 1982 and the UEFA Cup in 1984.
We had a wonderful side, a lot of really special players. We had Glenn Hoddle, who I've not seen a better technical English player than what he was at that time. Ozzy Ardiles, of course, who came from Argentina along with Ricky Villa, both terrific players. Ozzy very influential in the team, and then of course with a terrific captain in Steve Perryman, Graham Roberts. I can keep talking about the different players here, and they all had a big part to play in what went on, and of course we were very successful at the time.
Well, the first time was difficult because we don't understand anything about English and what did he say, but in the end I have to say he was a very disciplined manager, very honest man, you know, and I have great memory of him, you know.
We played Wembley 7 times in 18 months. Win trophies at home and abroad, as we did. And rightly so, because we played good attacking football. A lot of style, a lot of flair, all in the Tottenham tradition. It's very difficult to play for a club like Tottenham, or manage a club like Tottenham, because you've got all these great memories to live up to. The double team, the 50-51 team. But we managed to do that because people still talk about the team of the early 80s, and that tells you we must have, a different era of course, but we must have done something right. It was a great era to play football, and I was delighted to be sort of captain of it.
I'm the second recipient after Bill Nicholson, and there's other people that I feel possibly deserve it before me, but I've been picked, and of course I'm greatly appreciative of that.
Officially inducted into the Tottenham Hotspur
Newcastle were the next visitors to White Hart Lane, and few had forgotten what happened at St James's Park earlier in the season. Marcus Buckland takes you through a tight match, which ultimately ended in revenge.
Always danger when Robert is about. Solid block. Here's Bernard. Not a bad effort, and Keller had to be very quickly down to that one. It's neat. Oh, and there could have been contact. Tarico on Hughes, and the referee says no penalty. And it's hard to see exactly what happened there. A rare fumble from Gibbon. Defoe, Doherty. Gary Doherty of all people. Perhaps he just panicked a little. And Bobby Robson still furious that they weren't awarded that penalty. Defoe hooks it back across. Jonathan Woodgate off the line. That is wonderful defending from the England international. Robbie Keane poised to give Spurs the lead. That is defending of the highest quality. Welcome back, Jamie Redknapp. First appearance in a first-team shirt since September. Defoe, blocked out, and he keeps going! Robbie Keane tried his luck, still Newcastle can't get rid of the ball. Dalmat. And it's in, and it's off Andy O'Brien, and Spurs have the lead with 4 minutes to go. And that could be a mortal blow as far as Newcastle's Champions League hopes are concerned. Andy O'Brien could do nothing about it.
It's almost 28 years since we last won a league game at Old Trafford, and we'll have to wait at least another season. After a 3-0 defeat, Ryan Giggs set the Reds on their way in the 30th minute with a cheeky backheel. But the scoreline did flatter United, who didn't find the net again until the 89th minute, when substitute Cristiano Ronaldo unleashed a speculative shot from 25 yards. In stoppage time, another substitute, David Bellion, scored United's third as we left Old Trafford empty-handed once again. At St Mary's, a spectacular goal from Rory Delap sealed the points for Southampton. It was his first goal for more than 2 years and one to savour, unless you're a Spurs fan, of course. Back at the Lane, Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank scored the only goal of the game against Chelsea. And it was anything but a good Friday at Goodison Park, where we lost to Everton for the first time in 7 years. David Unsworth set the Toffees on their way in the 16th minute. Gary Naismith curled a free kick past Casey Keller from 20 yards 8 minutes later. And Joseph Yobo sealed our fate when he tapped in Thomas Graverson's rebounding free kick 7 minutes before half-time. In the second half, a fine 1-2 between Rowan Ricketts and Stephen Carr gave us a glimmer of hope. Carr was sent off for a second yellow moments later to complete a disappointing night all round. Jermaine Defoe is one footballer writing headlines for all the right reasons. His stature as a striker is fast improving. He's fiercely determined to succeed. He has his eye firmly set on the top. And he believes he can hit the heights at Tottenham Hotspur.
In my years, Tottenham are a massive club. Over the years, they've had great players, great forwards, Gary Lineker and Klinsmann. So I see it as a massive club. So at the time when it came about, I was quite strong that I was going to join. I was happy.
Defoe signed for Spurs with literally minutes remaining before the January transfer window closed. The move took him by surprise, but after a brief discussion with his mother and his agent, little persuasion was needed.
When you've played in the Premiership and you've been sport with playing in one of the best leagues in the world, and then all of a sudden you have a change for 6 months, how long it is, it's hard. Obviously, it's hard, and I just wanted to be back there, playing in such a great league.
Defoe's desire to leave West Ham was well documented. He handed in a transfer request the day after the Hammers were relegated and now regrets the timing of that decision. 3 red cards at the start of this season hinted at his growing frustration.
People that know me at the club, all the staff and all the lads, they know me. I speak to them and they know what kind of person I am, and I really enjoy my time there. And obviously with the sending off and stuff like that, it was out of character because I was getting frustrated, but like you said, I was scoring goals, so I was enjoying the football because I was scoring, and obviously it was difficult to leave, but I had to push on and further my career.
It's a career that has blossomed from the word go. Still only 21, Defoe has attracted attention from every major club in the country. A sparkling talent at youth level, he made his West Ham debut at the age of 18 and also flourished while on loan at Bournemouth. His strike rate of a goal every 2 and a bit games saw him closely linked with a move to Arsenal and Manchester United, but Tottenham came up with the money, and as they build for a brighter future, they're delighted to have him spearheading their revival.
I can't think of a British striker at his age who's done so much in such a short period of time at such a high level. I think it was well documented that Manchester United were a very interested party last summer. But this is more really building our asset base of good players.
I was just happy, obviously, joining a new club, going to meet all the boys, and Mr. Plate, he knows his football. Like he's been in the game long, and he knows his football. So I was just happy just to work with him and just see how it is and that. But I don't think a lot of players really worry about the managing side of it, because at the end of the day, we're the ones that have to go out there on a Saturday whenever the game's on and perform, so it's down to us at the end of the day.
Tottenham now have a strike force to be reckoned with. In the absence of Freddie Kanouté on international duty, Defoe quickly formed an understanding with Robbie Keane, but he's glad his former West Ham teammate is now back in the frame.
He settled in quite well. First 3 games, he scored a lot of goals for the club, and he settled in well. And Robbie Keane he's a great player, loads of experience. He's played at the highest level. He's played for his country, World Cup. So it's good playing with both of them. They're great players.
4 goals in his first 3 games for Tottenham was proof enough that Defoe's ability can match his ambition. In March, he made his debut for England in Sweden, justifying his decision to seek a move back to the Premiership. And it's all too clear just how at home he feels in it.
Looking back now, I think I've made the right decision by joining Tottenham. Obviously, playing for England, doing something that I've always wanted to do as a young lad. So the other night, it was, like I said, it was a dream come true. It was a really special moment for me, my family and everyone. So I really enjoyed it.
Jermaine Defoe set to be a shining star for years to come. Back to the action, where for the 5th time this season we faced Manchester City. After a win each and a draw apiece, we'd yet to get the better of them. And despite their lowly position in the league, they proved a tough nut to crack once again, as Marcus Buckland found out.
Tarico quickly involved, and looking for Poyet. Well, he was stretching, but he wasn't far away. Almost a dream start for Spurs and for Gus Poyet. And how Spurs would love an early goal. Michael Brown. Well, that's clever from Canute. Now Defoe wants it. Canute goes alone. Good save, David James. Jermaine Defoe was calling for it, but Canute, so keen to get back in goal-scoring form, decided to chance his own arm, and he wasn't far away. Anelka. City clearly growing in confidence. Now McManaman. Back to Anelka. This is dangerous. 1-0. You cannot give Nicholas Anelka one opportunity, never mind two, inside the penalty area. And he's made Spurs pay. To be fair, Keller did well to hold the initial shot. There was nothing he could do about the follow-up. And City could be in again. Fowler is unmarked! Great save! Great save from Casey Keller. That looked to be 2-0 all the way. Anelka, the provider this time, and how did Keller keep that out? It's Tarico with the free kick. Little flick down, Poyet off the post! Well, that is the second time Gus Poyet's had a good headed opportunity in the game. He was wide with the first, he's denied by the post with the second. Davis. Defoe, just behind him. What's a clever turn! And that is the equaliser! Jermaine Defoe! He is so quick on his feet, that was a wonderfully sharp turn. City will point to Sun Ji-hai and say he should have been more alert. But that is brilliant from Defoe, and Spurs are at last on level terms. Redknapp and Keane is in there! The flag's up, it won't count, it will not count. Tottenham so close to the perfect comeback, but the linesman was very quick to raise his flag as Robbie Keane ghosted in. Point of peace, and that is not ideal for either side.
There was more misery on the road as Bolton completed a convincing victory at the Reebok. Ivan Campo's early strike gave them the initiative, and they didn't let it go. Henrik Pedersen was a constant thorn in the side and thoroughly deserved his goal in the 65th minute to seal a 2-0 win. So not the greatest confidence boost ahead of the big one at White Hart Lane. Arsenal were the visitors, and after Chelsea's defeat to Newcastle earlier in the day, they knew a draw would be enough to win the title. It was a big day for young Johnny Jackson, who got his chance wide on the left, while Freddie Canute got the nod ahead of Jermaine Defoe to partner Robbie Keane up front. Jamie Redknapp joined Michael Brown in midfield, while Anthony Gardner and Ledley King would form the heart of a defence that somehow had to stop Thierry Henry, who'd scored 7 goals in his past 3 games. Ray Parlour was back on the right side of midfield for Arsenal. Dennis Bergkamp started alongside Henry, but Freddie Ljungberg, who scored the winner at Highbury, was injured. Referee Mark Halsey was in for a highly charged afternoon, so too was John Helm.
Perfect conditions, apart from the warmth maybe. It suits us, it might not suit the players. This is Lauren, the Cameroon international. And there is Parlour digging in as he's been doing for Arsenal for a decade now. They're not there yet, let me remind you. A Tottenham win today would mean that Arsenal would have to wait a week until they meet Birmingham City at Highbury. And a Tottenham corner as well, won for them by Johnny Jackson. corner kick. At White Hart Lane, and Patrick Vieira, who has so often scored against Tottenham Hotspur, has broken Spurs' hearts already. And it all came from a Tottenham corner kick. The ball was headed down there, Henry was on his way, glided beyond Redknapp. Clever ball to Dennis Bergkamp after about 3 touches from the Frenchman, and Bergkamp's ball inch perfect for the Frenchman, the captain, the inspiration, Patrick Vieira. What a start to the North London derby. So Tottenham respond with a raid of their own. From Tarico into Keane. Tarico again, he's got 3 white shirts to aim at, goes for goal himself, and it's over the bar by a whisker. Took a coat of paint off the crossbar from Mauricio Tarico. Perez for Henry. Henry quick enough to latch onto the ball as it's clipped back. He reacted more quickly than anybody else there. Part of the Frenchman's secret. And a save here by Keller that denies him a goal. And he's held the line well, Defoe. Canute will be across the centre, so will Keane. Jermaine Defoe nicks it back for Michael Brown, then it's square. Redknapp will thump in the shot. Redknapp will score for Spurs. And that's exactly what they've been wanting here. That's exactly what they've been waiting so long for. And a delightful build-up. And Jamie Redknapp has come up with his first goal of the season. Brown tickled the ball on. Redknapp did even better. And Jens Lehmann is beaten for the first time in 3 games, and Spurs have a goal in the derby. Perez, here is Henry, this surely is it! Oh, of all people to miss. Thierry Henry should now be celebrating goal number 38 of his season. Golden opportunity for it to be sealed there and then. Henry himself will try again, and this time he's blocked off. Well, he was unselfish there, Thierry Henry. The ball had been gifted to him. He played Robert Pires in, and that should have been the coup de grace from the Frenchman. Goal for Pires, who was always going to be a recipient of that ball at some stage in there. Vieira, oh, Henry, lovely back heel. Pires, Henry! It's again, he's foiled. Although Aidou's still trying to win the ball off Keane. But it looks like being one of those days where Thierry Henry just gets no fortune. But up will go Canute here, trying to claim a point for them on the day. Touré livid, and he better not over-remonstrate. He has fouled Canute, and Tottenham have got a taste for goals right now. It will be Jermaine Defoe. Lehmann on his line. Defoe! And the save of the match from Lehmann. Terrific strike from Defoe. And the vocal Lehmann has a bit of a go at his defence here. It goes out. And the referee needs to speak with his assistant to find out what all this is about. Perhaps this will tell us. Well, he was trying to strangle Keane into the net. And Tottenham Hotspur have been awarded a penalty kick. So there is a chance for Tottenham Hotspur to win a point. There is a chance still for Arsenal to take the title here in the most controversial finish. Doing cartwheels here. David Pleat's doing them on the bench as well. It's Tottenham Hotspur 2, Arsenal 2, which would be good enough all round. It would still hand the title to Arsenal. It would give Tottenham Hotspur a precious point. And Lehmann has cost Arsenal a couple of points. Arsene Wenger still discussing with Peter Walton, the 4th official, what's going on here. But there was such a lengthy stop. Premier League champions, they have just and only just done enough.
The point against Arsenal virtually assured our Premiership safety, but we were still struggling on the road, where Juan Pablo Angel condemned us to our first defeat to Aston Villa in 3.5 years. Ricky Villa received a standing ovation ahead of our final home game of the season against Blackburn Rovers, who had Peter Enkelman making his debuting goal. Marcus Buckland was there.
Well, Robbie Keane has looked bright in the early stages. Always wants the ball, never happier than when he's on it. It's a neat 1-2 with Ricketts, and a useful save from Peter Enkelman. That'll help to calm his nerves. Ledley King elects for Route 1 football. And it pays dividends, Jermaine Defoe! Brilliant finish! Bang! And it's in the back of the net, and that is a perfect example of what a natural and clinical goal scorer Jermaine Defoe is. Sven-Göran Eriksson, take note. Well played again by Ricketts. He's seen a lot of the ball. Keane, he's got Defoe to his right. Goes by himself, not far away. He's in the mood today. Spurs backpedaling just a little bit. Here's Gardner. Oh, that's Lax, and here's Stead! And that should have been 1-1. Definitely upping the gears at the moment, Blackburn Rovers. And here is Stead again. He's got the better of Gardner. Good save, Keller. And it had to be. And Anthony Gardner's had a torrid couple of minutes. Redknapp did well. Here is Defoe. And he's got power as well as skill. That's a great ball, Robbie Keane! Denied by the underside of the crossbar.
The players have showed the crowd that they can play, they can pass the ball, they can be a vibrant team. But there's always one or two pieces in the jigsaw that aren't quite right. If we get that right, this club could go on and do really, really well.
After the match, the players walked around the pitch to thank the crowd for their support throughout the year. It was also an opportunity for the fans to say goodbye to some of the players who wouldn't be here next season. Darren Anderton, Christian Ziege and Gus Poyet were among those who bid the club farewell after their excellent service over the years. And so to the final day and a trip back to Molineux for Robbie Keane, who scored a hat-trick against Wolves in December. For Dennis Irwin, it was the end of a glittering career that included winning 7 league titles with Manchester United. For Dave Jones, it was an afternoon of farewells as Wolves prepare for life back in Division 1. Here's Marcus Buckland once again.
Oh, very close to saying goodbye in style. Yates. Picking out Ricketts, good effort. That was a sharp volley and an equally sharp save by Paul Jones. Yates is looking the part in the early stages. Here he is again, on for Robbie Keane. Yes, 1-0. Well, he rode his luck a little bit, but it's a 4th goal in 2 Premiership games against Wolves this season for Robbie Keane. If only this, if only that. It's tough when you're managing at the bottom. Oh, but he's woefully short, and Defoe will surely take full advantage. He does, 2-0. That was a gift. Carl caught the guilty man. Defoe's eyes lit up. He was never going to turn that one down. Ince. Oh, he was late. And that's later still from Paul Ince on Jamie Redknapp, and if the referee's seen it, it could well be a red card. It is. And that is not a happy way to mark what will surely be Paul Ince's final appearance in the Premiership. And a case of down and off for Wolves.
So the campaign ended on a high with 6 points out of 6, giving us renewed optimism for next season. There'll be plenty of changes, not only a new kit, but new signings, including goalkeeper Paul Robinson and a new manager to work alongside sporting director Frank Arneson. And with international stars like Simon Davis, Jermaine Defoe and Anthony Gardner on board, the future looks bright. We look forward to welcoming you back to White Hart Lane next season.